Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to the first qualifier of the Link to the Past Randomizer Hybrid Major Glitches Tournament. This is the glitch tournament of this year. We got one in 2018 and one in 2019, and then we got a mentor tournament version in 2020, so we're continuing that tradition this year with a new mode. Hybrid Major Glitches is a mode that allows people to do overworld glitches and a couple out-of-bounds clips in the underworld as well. I'm joined by Professor Render. How are you doing?
I'm really excited for this tournament. Ever since we first did Hybrid Major Glitches, when we first came up with this, I've been really getting into this. I was doing really fun. I was having a lot of fun with overworld glitches, like from the mentor tournament alone. And now the fact we're doing a tournament with this new Hybrid Major Glitches, I am so stoked for it, and we're getting underway right now.
We got two different openers. You're going to see Dawnvenure go down to Hylia Island to see what the item is there, because you can get it right away if you want. There's also an option to go to Hobo from there. You can also go to Saucerless Closet because you start with boots. Meanwhile, Chexhuman is going on the sort of Lost Woods loop, and from the Lost Woods, he actually does something a little different here, but you can go up the mountain right away. You can also go to Kakariko. So Donna's doing a clip to Hobo. This is a fast way to get there that gives you a fake flipper directly onto the bridge using this out-of-bounds clip. People are asking what is and isn't allowed. Generally speaking, out-of-bounds clips in the X and Y axis are allowed. So you can't go under the floor, but you can go through walls. And then there's a couple other things you can do in the overworld that are a little bit different, but the underworld is pretty much just going through diagonal walls.
To kind of briefly explain what the teleporting is, because we're going to be seeing a lot about this. The collision for the diagonal walls is very broken. It's not like what you think it is. You could probably elaborate more about this now, though.
Yeah, so diagonal walls kind of have this like porous quality to them, where you can just walk through them if you do the right pixel movements, but there's also ways you can do it that don't require one-frame buffering, which is, in the overworld, you're mostly just going to be hitting your boots and direction at the same time, and it'll let you clip one frame at a time. In the underworld, there's a little bit different method you can use with a bomb, where the bomb just clips you straight into the wall, and then from there you can make adjustments and teleport. Underworld YBA is not allowed, so we don't allow things that corrupt screen transitions in the underworld. So anything that's going to change the way a door works or mess up screen transitions in the underworld are not going to be allowed. So Chexhuman is climbing the mountain.
Somewhat teleports.
Yeah, this is going to get him to the Old Man Cave. It's the fastest way up the mountain using our kind of current knowledge. You can't see him right now, but he has entered the Old Man Cave by wrapping his screen a little bit. Don has gone out of his way to pick up that arrow. It's a very important arrow in the Lost Woods Thief hideout. I believe I saw a red rupee on the Lumberjack. Not a D, but correct me if I'm wrong.
I couldn't tell for certain. That missed me. But yeah, what Chex did was called Death Mountain Ascent. Specifically, this is the new Death Mountain Ascent, or DMA for short. As Malmo pointed out too, is that it lets you get up to...
oh, poor Chex.
It lets you get up to Death Mountain without needing gloves. It requires you to do the whole boots clips thing.
Oh my god, my heart was stopping there. So the downside of going up the mountain this early is there's still dead rocks there. It's still very dangerous, and you don't really have control over them when you don't have a weapon to hit them with. So he's gone straight up the mountain. He's in Tower of Hera now. How did he get there? He clipped off the bottom and wrapped around to the top. This is a common move in Hybrid Major Glitches because you get some really good information walking into here. So we see 10 arrows in the rupee basement. He's going to open the next chest where you would normally expect to find a key. He found a small key, which may or may not lead to anything, because the game has a special logic that allows you to clip from Mire and use a Mire big key to unlock the door. So that doesn't mean that there is a big key in the fire-locked basement. Dawn, meanwhile, is making kind of the safer play of going to Kakariko first, has found the powder, but doesn't have magic to use it yet. Chex is doing a teleport that's going to get into Graveyard Ledge. This is one of the methods you can use when you don't have a sword to get down here. The way teleports work... Oh! Okay, so Dawn just found the cane. Cane means he can fake powder at the bat now. You don't need the hammer to get to the bat. He's going to be doing a screen wrap glitch that will get into the bat without the hammer. Very fortunate find. And a bottle, wow.
It does have a mushroom?
Kakariko, well, he has the powder, so he can fake real powder.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't look like Chex has found much besides information on the mountain. He did unlock that save and quit point from the old man, which is a very important save and quit point in this mode, because you can get a lot of places from the mountain. So this is the screen wrap. It looks like he is trying to remember how to do it. He needs to buffer in a little bit less. And then what it does is it sets up a fake flipper on the screen transition, just like that. But you're hitting the transition from the wrong side, so you wrap your screen a little bit, and then it takes you to the magic bat cave. So Chex is going to head over
to water.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like because when you do that, it looks like you're falling into water, but actually it's the drop down from the magic bats. So you get 20 rupees from that.
Peace of mind, doesn't have to come back here to check the bat later. Meanwhile, we've got Sahasrar's closet. Chex didn't find much on the mountain, so he's hoping to find something here. Unfortunately, just some money and bombs.
You were mentioning about teleports in particular and how they work. Would you explain that a little bit further?
So teleports work by getting onto a specific pixel in the kind of cliff side. The game tries to kick you out when it detects that you're in collision, and most of the time that works correctly, but sometimes the game does the math weird and will kick you out too far. So we take advantage of that by clipping into these specific pixels that will clip you out, up or down. Don's going to clip here, and he's going to teleport up, which is actually going to put him on a ledge that drops him down.
And we use these, the bumps of the little bumps to in the mountain or the wall rather, to line it up.
There's a hookshot in Desert Ledge. Very good find. Hookshot is an important item in HMG because you can climb Tower of Hera with it using Hera Pot. The logic doesn't expect you to, but you can skip a logical Meyer dive, Meyer clipping to Hera, which is normally the way you expected to do it. But you can just Hera Pot your way around that and save yourself a clip. You still need the hookshot for Swamp Palace. So everything kind of in the back of Swamp is the same. The main difference with Swamp is because you can clip from Hera, and by extension Meyer, you're supposed to use the Meyer small key, the extra Meyer small key that normally gets spent on Rupee Basement, to unlock the first door of Swamp. So the Swamp small key doesn't necessarily get placed in the first chest. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. And then also because you can go backwards through the middle of Swamp, you can also skip the requirements for the mirror and the hammer.
While Malmo was explaining that, Chexhuman did find a sword in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Nice bit of safety, considering they're both on 3 hearts after having done all these checks.
So with the sword in hand, this actually allows us to pull off super speed clips now.
Yeah, so spin speed clips are kind of an easier way to get through collision. You don't necessarily need them for most of them. You can get by with just boots clipping, but when you're in the spin speed state, not necessarily going fast, just in that state, you ignore collision a little bit more than usual and can go through certain railings, especially on the mountain. There's a fire rod in Desert Big Chest. Sounds like Kakariko Loop was kind of the way to go here.
Yeah, and this if we we can actually clear out desert because we can clip into it.
We can. So Don has the option, it is a crystal. He can end his route on desert by clipping past the rocks. Unfortunately, you can't get out again because you're behind the rocks, so he's going to have to do that last. He also has to consider his weaponry available to him. Right now he only has Fire Rod and Cane and a sliver of magic. So he doesn't really have the firepower to kill Lanmo right now. He might put it off just for that reason alone. Yeah, so the bow is still needed for Helmasaur. There is a glitch that gets you into pod, but once you're in pod, the logic is the same, and the requirements are the same. The only difference is that you get to skip the Moon Pearl, so the pod can have the Moon Pearl in it.
Picks up a lamp out of Agina's cave.
Okay, Chex has teleported into the clouds. Clouds are made of water, as you can see. Sees that there's nothing on Hylia Island or Floating Island, so he's gonna skip it. And meanwhile, Dawn found the Moon Pearl in Cave 45. Very good find. Moon Pearl is Dark World access. You don't need the other stuff for it. You just need the Moon Pearl because you have access to a portal on the top of the mountain, and then from there you can clip off the mountain to the rest of the Dark World.
Death Mountain Descent. Not to be confused with Death Mountain Ascent, but basically the same kind of logic is that you can clip from Death Mountain to the Dark World.
So Dawn sees the hookshot and some other things he has and says, I want to go to the mountain now because there's some good stuff there. With the Moon Pearl, he can go to Hookshot Cave immediately. He can do all those other checks that Chex is doing now. Yeah, K45 having the Moon Pearl is one of those things you don't see outside of no glitches, or outside of glitch modes. I think, like even in inverted, you would still need a way to lift up those pots, so it wouldn't be there either. Chex says there's one bomb left. He's gonna have to consider that. Okay, he has 3. It's just bombs here. Wow. Yeah, there is technically a way to skip the bow for Helma, but it's dumb, and only one person does it, and he has the world record in the speedrun category that's similar to this mode. So unless he is in this tournament, we won't be seeing that. Yeah, there's a clip in the basement with the rupees that is completely bonkers, and nobody will do it in this tournament. No, it's more bonkers than clipping the mimics. You're clipping yourself using some crazy one-frame movements that aren't considered by most people to be RTA viable. Alright, Chex is doing south to north Kakariko. What he's going to do is he's going to loop through, and then he's going to end the route on the race game item. So he's going to kind of do a loop-de-loop through Kakariko and drop down to the game item. And hopefully for him, he'll also go to desert because there's a hook shot there and a fire rod.
So Dawn was on the what we call the land bridge. There's a sign there that shows the winners of the Overworld Glitches tournament.
Oh, poor Dawn wants the fairy so bad. He has no sword, but he does have the hook shot, which is almost as good as a sword. Yeah, we got some really helpful people in chat who are extremely experienced in glitch modes, answering questions for us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and one thing too about the little sign that I mentioned as well, if you try to do that, if you actually go up to there in a no glitches, just by doing the same kind of thing, the sign, instead of showing the Overworld Glitches tournament winners, it'll just say, "How did you get up here?" So Dawn is actually gonna do this hook speed clip, super speed clip that only saves time as opposed to just going up over and around from Spiral Cave.
Oh yeah, it's a little clip you can do that's just purely to bypass walking around. It's nice. You can do things like that in this mode. Not every glitch is something that's going to be required. There's just some things you can do as a shortcut. Including some underworld clips. Probably won't be seeing them in the seed, but there is one in Spectacle Rock Cave that just gets you the item quicker if you can't hover. There's one in Ice Palace that will bypass the first room. Skipping the fire requirement, but most people aren't going to be going in there without a way to kill Cold Stare, so you mostly just see it as a way to get faster through the lobby of Ice Palace.
We get the Ice Rod out of Paradox Cave Upper. So we actually, well, at least not yet, but we can at least, well, no, I mean we could possibly go into Turtle Rock because we could clip into that.
Okay, Donna's attempting a descent to the witch. This is a little bit tricky, but he has a way that he dashes off this rail that will pretty consistently get you to this funny auto-walk state where you just kind of ignore collision for a little bit. And you're moving without actually controlling yourself until you stop. This is going to get him to Sahasrala's closet. I'm not sure if it really saves time over Link's house, but it does look cool. And it's really good for turning in the mushroom if you have one.
And we actually do mean it when we say when we're saying funny autowalk state, and it is actually called the funny autowalk thing, coined by none other than Super Scotch.
That is the official name of the glitch. Alright, Chex is ending his route here. Hopefully he continues to Desert, because there's good stuff there. How big is the qualifier? There are 11 entrants.
Which, for glitch modes, is actually pretty big.
This is by far the biggest HMG race we've ever had. And it's 2 less than the biggest overworld glitches race we've ever had that I'm aware of, so yeah, pretty big. Retrace each other's steps. Let's give a early follow to our runners and our commentary crew and tracker and SpeedGaming itself, putting on this tournament, allowing us to get restreams for it. Get that in there.
This is a very exciting tournament in general because for the longest time we've been doing these glitched modes for SpeedGaming, and this is the first time we're going to be dealing with hypermajor glitches because this is a relatively new category that we've came up with.
Yeah, if you're wondering why it's called hybrid, there is a mode called Major Glitches that is like this, but it also requires one-frame clips and fake flutes. The problem with that is it means the moon pearl can be pretty much anywhere it wants to be. And it makes the game slower if the moon pearl is somewhere bad, and if you're racing that mode, then the person who finds the moon pearl first usually just has a 10-minute lead on the other person. So, it's not really tournament material. But this is because the moon pearl is pretty contained in mostly the same places overworld glitches would have it. So it's very raceable.
And I raced this a couple of times, and I know for a fact this is it's actually a lot of fun too. And I got started through the Overworld Glitches Mentor tournament that happened last year, which was an incredible event too.
Yeah, that was held by Godma Podcast and a small moderator team. That we kind of put it together on a whim. And it went really well. A lot of new people entered the community. The glitch community has grown a lot since last year. Thanks to that, and also multi-world making people learn glitches when they're stuck. It's been, I want to say, the perfect storm for glitch community development. There's also a whole lot of new guides out there for people who want to learn. It's blossomed quite a bit. It's never been easier to get into glitch modes than it is now. Let's put it that way.
Chex just did a bomb clip to get over to Desert Palace.
Oh yeah, that's a tricky bomb clip. That's a little bit subpixel dependent, so most people don't bother with it. But it is faster than what you would normally do, which is clip all the way around from where Bombo's tablet is. And then he also did a clip that bypasses the rock so he can kill land mollusks. Dawn wasn't really able to do that due to lack of weaponry at the time. But Chex has a sword, so he'll be okay if he doesn't die. He also has a full magic bar.
Yeah, could you also like well I think when we get to see Kiki skip here, I think we're seeing that, well, not yet, but when we get to see Kiki skip, could you explain what bomb clips are?
Sure. Bomb clips are a way to get through collision, mostly in the underworld, actually. It's because you can't do the normal boots clip stuff in the underworld. So we use bomb clips instead. It's easier than the one frame clip for a lot of people. Dawn is doing something interesting here. He's setting up a what we call a super jump. This is you keep your screen camera broken, and when you clip into this out of bounds area, you can jump down to quite far. You'll see him fall 8 times, and he'll land on the bottom of the map where Swamp Palace is. It's kind of crazy. This is a good way to get to the bottom of the overworld map when you don't have a glove to use the portal. He'll correct his camera inside this dungeon here because dungeons correct cameras. And
Take
now
a
he's
while
here.
Take a while for the camera to actually be fully corrected, because if you notice that the screen was black for longer than a normal screen normal like overworld to underworld transition is.
Yeah, but still faster than just walking there from the top.
Right.
It's good if you don't want to commit to doing Thieves Town yet, and you don't have the fire rod for. Well, you don't have the hammer for Thieves Town. You do have the fire rod for Skull Woods, but you only have a fighter sword, so you might want to a little bit. It's also just a fun glitch. You get to watch Link fall 8 times. Let's see what Chex does. I want to say climb Hera because you have the hook shot, but it is a pendant. I think he very nice hook speed Hera pot there.
First try too.
Also worth noting that this is out of logic if the big key isn't in the basement and we don't have the medallion from Meyer. But we're about to find out soon from Dawn if we do have the medallion. He's going to go there and check it now for us.
Yeah, as we enter into the screen, the wiring is all messed up because we entered Meyer in a spot that the game doesn't intend you to do.
Okay, correcting us, the transition takes the same amount of time, it just looks different. But there are other glitches where if you don't correct your camera, you can have a long transition. We don't really do those anymore. There was an old way to climb the mountain where that could happen, but now we just use the old man cave. So I believe we got a peek at Meyer Pendant, but I missed it, or Meyer Medallion. I'm also curious if you notice whether Chex found the big key of Tower of Hera here or not. Oh, he's gonna do Hera basement? That's spicy. Because you usually want to save the key. No, he says no. Yeah. How does GT logic work for items? It's the same logic once you're inside, but getting inside is in logic with just a Moon Pearl.
And as far as the item placement is concerned, it's pretty much the same kind of thing as if you set the crystal count to just be 0 for GT access. Oh, hammer in Dick spot, nice, or Dick game.
Dick game hammer, that's really good. Now Dawn can do Thieves Town with no regrets whatsoever. It'll also give him more items in Ganon's Tower if he decides to go there next. Chex is saying, I have the hookshot. I want to see Hookshot Cave. He is going to have to do a clip to get in there. We're going to see it after he does Super Bunny Cave. The Mire Quake, that means that unlocking Hera isn't logic. For what it's worth. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't look like Chex found anything when he was there, but... Yeah, with Mire and Hera being both pendants, but Swamp being a crystal, we have an interesting dynamic where we want to save a key to unlock Swamp later, but we don't necessarily want to go through Pendant Mire to do that. So if you can save that Hera small key and use that instead, which the logic doesn't intend, you can save potentially a lot of time. It's kind of like setting GT requirement to 0, except we don't do that in this mode, because if you did, the Moon Pearl requirement would no longer be there, and you would be expected to walk past the Lionels without the Moon Pearl. Mirror in Hookshot Cave. And a sword.
A Master Sword.
Really
Nice.
good stuff here.
Combine that with the blue mail too, and that is a really nice Hookshot Cave.
I'm a little sad that Dawn didn't do that. When he had the hookshot coming up here, he could have done Hookshot Cave first and then mirrored to Paradox, but you don't expect to find the mirror there, so you think, well, maybe I'll find a glove and not have to do the clip. Oh, Chex is going to Turtle Rock. This is a clip that will... The logic doesn't expect this clip, but it will get you straight to Laser Bridge, which is faster than going through the middle, which is how the logic does expect you to get there. You get the screen wrap effect where you're hitting the transition from the wrong side, and then you enter Laser Bridge door.
Yeah, and ignore the little transition. It's broken like that because of the way that Chex enter it. Also, red mail.
The big key won't be here because the logic doesn't expect you to do that wrap. It expects you to go through the middle or the front. Now, we did find the flippers required. We're in both of them. No, we need a glove for ice.
Are we seriously gonna get a Chet Seed in the first qualifier?
Well, it does look like our Go Mode item is 2 progressive items. However, I have played some pretty bad glove Go Mode seeds, so I wouldn't count on it yet.
It feels like it though. It does.
So Chex can kill Trinex, but it's a little hairy with just the Master Sword, no half magic, and only a couple hearts. Mostly worried about the magic. Does he have? I think he has a green potion, which is going to help him a lot. He also has to make the decision here whether to think about the big chest or not. Most people will skip it if they don't have access to Mimic Cave, but do have access to Trinex. And usually it's a small key, but sometimes it's not, and you have to just swallow your pride and leave it behind. Dawn has to kill the enemies in this room because he doesn't have a glove. Glad he remembers that. It's really easy to forget.
Yeah, it definitely it's something that you want to keep that in mind, especially when you're doing these doing glitch modes like this, because you don't normally you won't be having you'll have a glove coming into this, but in this case you don't.
It's not even locking an item in Thieves Town. It's locking the small key. And Dawn remembers he doesn't have the glove. Remembering on the way back is even harder than remembering on the way in. So he walked all the way to the conveyor room to get back. Yeah, even Aga Seeds in normal modes can do that, but it's a lot more common in glitch modes because you can just go to Thieves Town with the Moon Pearl and nothing else. Chex has 3 keys, so you can't count on a key in Big Chest. I think there's a key. I think there's an item there. If not, map and compass. That's, just a gamble you have to take. Most people will make this gamble when you have access to Trinex. It's a little different when you don't. Yeah. You can walk out and mirror back to the big chest to check it once you get that big key. So Dawn got his first crystal at Thieves Town. Didn't find anything for it except for the hammer on the way.
Yeah, I think with yeah, so we were kind of mentioning this in the chat before, but Chex is doing, because of the fact that he did Turtle Rock from the back. He went to Turtle Rock from the back. He's doing this in doing Turtle Rock in reverse. So after he's done, he's going to be mirroring out, and he'll be back at the back of desert, or back of Turtle Rock rather, and he'll be able to just go over to Trinex.
Yeah, nice commands. Very helpful command. This time the SpeedGaming link works, so you can bookmark that for the schedule coming up. We got 12 qualifiers in the schedule, including maybe one tonight if we get enough entrants. We probably won't have a restream for it though, but you can follow the runners and watch them as well.
One picks up half magic off of the bumper ledge, and we can clip into that. It's a very simple down teleport.
Yeah, and Chex is doing a really nice Trinex here. It's a backdoor strat that allows him to just wail on the ice head from above. I think he is counting on that green potion in his pocket, but he probably won't need it with how well he's doing here. Very nice.
It's funny because I've been practicing backdoor strats myself, specifically zero cycle at Trinex, but and it is harder than it is a lot harder than a lot of the top runners make it out to be. It is pretty difficult.
And zero cycle is a little different because you do poke dash. If you want to just go for consistency, you could just slash and not do zero cycle. A lot of people do find backdoor a little easier actually because you don't have to deal as much with the heads moving around. Dawn is going to hit up Hookshot Cave now and get his mirror. He knows. Oh, that's interesting. Cool. I've never tried to jump down that way before. But he knows he doesn't have the glove. He's really good at remembering that, the seed. So he's going to do the clip that Chex did to get to the back of Hookshot Cave, which is kind of similar to Hera Clip, where you're just wrapping the screen. Alright, where's Chex going? This looks like it's also going to be a witch descent. But why? What is he going to... Oh, he has a mushroom. He's going to turn into a mushroom. That makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. You're right here. May as well turn the mushroom while you're ahead and maybe dip into Eastern.
Yeah, he didn't have the option to go back to the Dark World to go to Catfish because he doesn't have the hammer to open the TR portal. But Dawn will have that option, and he could potentially drop off his mushroom after Catfish.
Chex was going to go ahead and grab some potions, but was already full on bottles, so can't do that. It's going to have to do a save and quit.
Dawn is doing the intended route to TR, which is to clip into the middle bridge. That's going to give him the opportunity to check Mimic Cave, because he has the hammer, and Chex didn't. He can also mirror to the big chest if there's an item there, and check that. So if there's something good there, then he is in a good position. Chex sees the hook shot, but no hammer, so he says, I'm going to Dark World first before doing anything else. He's going to do a Death Mountain descent.
Yeah, this method of Death Mountain descent is probably the most common one that you'll see as we keep doing these tournament matches. This is you do a funny auto-block thing to get over to where roughly where the dark chapel's at.
So Michael K is making a really good point in chat that these glitches are not necessarily hard to do. They're really no different from the minor glitches you may have already learned. They're just a different set. It's like a new set of glitches to learn, and then you can play these modes too.
Yeah, definitely. If you're on the ALTTPR Randomizer Discord, definitely look into the glitch training channel. We're always willing to help new players get into these glitches, and they are not as difficult as people are making it out to be.
And
They're actually really, really simple.
The pins are full of guides that go all the way back to like 3 years ago. of people teaching this mode in their own ways. If you find picture guides are better for you, there's a bunch of new ones of those. And then if you find video guides, there's a lot as well.
Yeah, well, while the glitch community is rather small, it is not really that like it's a very low barrier of entry to even get into it. Yeah, it may look daunting, but it is not difficult.
We're also fairly active. Like, we really like playing these modes, and a lot of us who play them almost exclusively. So, you know, you ping a race, you might get some people willing to race, even though there aren't that many of us.
Yeah, and every Wednesday we do a overworld glitches weekly. So if you take the time to practice these the glitches and just play them and get to know them a little bit more, you may be interested in joining us for those weeklies.
I'd like to point out Chex is doing something Dawn didn't do, is fighting Mothula. He has the Master Sword and half magic, and Dawn didn't have that at the time, so he skipped out on it.
Yeah, and because of that, Chexhuman does get a crystal from that as well.
Yeah, but no item yet. I think he's going to go back to front. And that's the most efficient way to do this if you intend to fight Mothula.
I kind of wished. I'm perfectly understandable too why Chex didn't do this. Personally, one of my favorite things to do. After that was do the map wrap from Turtle Rock to Skull Woods. It is very well. It's kind of hard to explain.
Might do it. He can if he wants to. Maybe that's his intention.
Yeah, Dawn can.
Keep an eye on him when he's done. By the way, there's only a map in the big chest, so Chex didn't leave anything behind there. He only left behind the item in Mimic Cave, which I believe was nothing.
But yeah, it's a glitch that, I mean, it, as the name implies, a map wrap. You wrap around the entire map.
Yeah,
it's very.
The reason why people may not do these as often, when you walk off the edge of the map, you go to the other side, which sounds really convenient, but your camera is extremely unstable when that happens, and if you hit the wrong direction, you will hard lock your game and lose all your progress. So it's a very risky play. The logic will never require it, but it can get you there faster. Oh, Mimic Cave was a bottle, but we already have 2, so effectively nothing good. What is Dawn Sprite? That's Unica from East Origins, I think.
I don't know actually. I don't believe it was from one of the new sprites that was added in.
If this is Unica, this was run in the 2018 standard tournament by Pink Kitty Rose, so it's quite old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't.
That's why I know what it is, because she made it quite far on the sprite.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, got to see it a lot. Chex is using Tunic Color Link.
Yep. Funny because my sprite just got recently added in here.
If this were normal logic, how much of the glitches are time saves? That's hard to measure, because yeah, the glitches being required can also make the seed take longer in its own way. But for the most part, I want to say these finish a little faster on average than no glitches equivalent. But if you're playing a no glitches seed with the glitches, you're probably best off just timing that yourself and seeing how much faster you can do it.
Hey, Dawn is going to go ahead and do Trinex.
It's going to be a more comfortable fight with the hammer and half magic.
Yeah, that too. That is it.
Oh, he's setting up spin speed. Something you normally only do in Helmasaur, but if you have spin speed active or armed, your hammer hitbox gets extended north, and you have a somewhat easier time hitting these Trinex heads, in theory. Doesn't look like he connected on that third hit in the first phase, though. Unfortunately, things are getting a little bit away from him.
Yeah, with two... I was... Two... ones, 2 ice floors.
Yeah, but he can spam this now because he has half magic and a green potion. Oh, yeah, I gotta drink it now. Probably for the better. When you have 2 ice floors, it's hard to hit Trinix when he's moving away from you because you can't really go fast enough to chase after him on the ice floor.
Don't point out the cape here, but it makes sense considering the circumstances with the ice floor.
Well, cape also gives him the ability to charge up a spin and get double hits on Trinix's middle. So it's probably a time save over just slashing.
I did not know that, actually.
I didn't either until I saw him do that. Just now.
I'll probably want to pull up the prac calc after this to take a look at that.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things that's only worth it with quick swap. So Dawn has the option to mirror here and use the Hammer Pig's portal and go to Catfish, and then turn in his mushroom afterward, which Chex couldn't do because he didn't have the hammer.
You're actually doing this.
Oh, this is the map wrap. Oh, heck yeah. All right. Get your Monka S in chat, because this is a fairly dangerous glitch if you... I mean, it's not hard to do, but if you screw up, it's very punishing.
So Dawn has to be very careful through this.
There you go, he's in.
Gets it.
So you just have to not get nudged to the right or move to the right, which is easy to do, but also easy to mess up.
Very well done from Dawnvenure.
Oh, this routing is so cool. I usually only see this in Go mode. When you find your fire rod in TR or something, you're like, oh, now I can do Skull Woods. But Dawn planned this ahead of time. He said, I'm going to skip TR. I'm going to skip Skull Woods because I know I can do this after TR.
Man, first qualifier, first match of the tournament, and we're already seeing the map wrap. That is what I want to see.
You know what's funny we haven't seen yet is any of the hybrid major glitches underworld clips. So far just been an overworld glitches seed, which is still impressive to watch.
I mean, even if it's just a regular overworld glitches seed, this is still a great demonstration of what overworld glitches is and what the glitch modes are like.
And also how differently you can route it. Like, you can see Chex and Dawn are basically just moving in opposite directions of each other. And you can see the effect that's having on their routing. It's actually not having that much of an effect right now, but... You know, there are a couple things Chex left behind that Dawn got to do, and if there's something good at, like, Mimic Cave, there wasn't, but if there was, that would have made a difference. I think they're going to converge at Ganon's Tower because it's open to them. Pretty much everything except the climb is open, and if they wanted to, they could mimic clip the climb. But given that they need a bow for Go mode, they probably won't do that.
Although, we haven't seen Pyramid Fairy yet.
No, yeah, because they could do the escape as well. But GT is required. So that seems more tempting. Whereas the escape in Pyramid Fairy would be pure time loss if there's nothing there. Oh, a ped check.
Yeah, ped check from Dawn. Instantly went outside, went away from that.
Nothing good.
Yep.
Ped check would be cool because you can collect the Meyer pendant in Hera. If they did that with the crystal, we would still require them to go back and kill Vitreous. But the pendant is fair game. You can get that green pendant from Moldworm's Arena and then turn it in and never touch Vitreous. Because the game just checks that you're in a boss room and that the boss is killed. It doesn't know that you're not in Meyer when you do it. So it drops the Meyer pendant. You can chain escape after beating GT. That means you're doing Mimic Clip or finding a bow. And then it also orphans Pyramid Fairy. So it's a risk you take.
So, the question
Nice job.
really. Oh, nice.
That was fun.
It's another shortcut you can do, because of boost clips and such.
Dawn is doing my favorite thing, which is using a item dash to get onto the pit edge instead of a sword spin. And you can do it with any item that has an animation associated with it. So he pulled out the boomerang for this one.
Chex trying to swamp through the front.
But yeah, this is a YOLO play. Let's see if there's a key. He says, if there's a key here, I don't need to worry about clipping. I can just go right through and do the whole thing. I can see the value of ending your route here. There could also be an item in the front. There could be a glove, there could be a bow. Nice anti-fairy skip.
Because of that because of that logical implications of swamp if we clipped from Hera to swamp, and conversely Myra to Hera and Hera to swamp.
Dawn is either doing Pyramid Fairy or Ganon's Tower.
PT.
It's Pyramid Fairy.
Oh,
so what's happened is
okay.
he has wrapped his camera. Wait, no, it says there's another super jump. Never mind. Where is he going with that?
Yeah,
Maybe I'm intrigued.
I'm wondering what this is too, because I would imagine
Meyer?
Dawn probably a Meyer?
Or he just wants to YOLO swamp like Chex did. I missed what Chex found, but it wasn't the small key because he didn't continue. It looks like Dawn is thinking the same thing. He wants to see if he gets that 1 in 10 chance that a small key just gets randomly placed in the first chest. Oh, this is going to be close if they go the same way. I'm very surprised nobody's going to Ganon's Tower yet. It seems like it's got neon signs pointed at it. Oof.
Yeah, it's wide open too.
One downside to Quake for Meyer is you can't just kill the bird with it. You have to kill the bird and then use Quake. So Chex got a little bit bullied. Compass. Compass in the first chest. Not even a good item. That's a lot of investment for just the first chest of swamp. I wonder if Dawn is, has said he has practiced the swamp clip, but might not be fully comfortable with it yet and is hoping that he can get bailed out by a first chest key and not have to do it. And then he says, well, I didn't get the first chest key, so I'm just going to go through Hera. Like, the logic expects me to go through Meyer, and he knows that's in logic, so he's just going to do Hera instead.
We're gonna see a Hera pot from...
Yeah, he's opting for a Hera pot setup that doesn't risk opening the door by accident. Because that would be sad if you use the key when you want to use it for swamp.
That's item dash from Dawn.
Yeah, the item dash is a little more consistent for catching the fairy. He says not even checking Moldorm. This is just... Because you can check Moldorm and not collect the pendant. But I think he just says, I want to do swamp. This is what this is for.
Okay, so we're seeing our first hybrid major glitches clip.
That's Ether. I think it's maybe the Kadongos are bothering him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that looks good. Now you down teleport and you're here. So now you can unlock swamp. I actually didn't know that you could hammer straight down there. That's cool. I don't think it's optimal though, because then you have to walk up again to get out.
I believe I've done that before. It's been a while since I did it though.
So yeah, we're in swamp, but the game still thinks we're in Hera. So every key we collect, it gets assigned to Tower of Hera. Every door we unlock comes from Hera's small key pool. The risk of this is if there was an item in Hera basement, which Dawn doesn't know yet, then he is forcing himself to get that through Mire instead of through Swamp. But it's fairly safe because he knows he can get to Mire right now. The only real danger is if it was locking the Mire medallion. And that's one of the few ways you can actually make your seed unbeatable in this game. Chex has taken a death, unfortunately. Came in on low HP and then had to do Spike Room, and unfortunately just took some hits on the way. Going right back in.
Yeah, his intention was to get the fairy, but got bodied by the giant spike.
Yeah, it's kind of a risk of powdering anti-fairies that you're not used to powdering. You don't know the patterns yet, and you can very easily just get hit instead. So Dawn has corrected his dungeon state. No, he has not done that, actually. No, he's still in Hera. I'm surprised. Because he could go outside and mirror and use the switch and all that and go back in Swamp. But he says, I don't want to... Oh, maybe he got the big key. If you get the big key in the front, it becomes a Hera big key. And then you either choose to orphan the big chest of Swamp or you get it right now. Looks like he didn't because he didn't open the big chest. Yeah, he didn't get the big key. Chex has powdered a much safer anti-fairy.
When it comes to these kind of Hera states, when we clip into those, like Malo mentioned, we are in essentially a form. We're not in the dungeon that we were in before. It is actually called Hera state. Something like Mire state is also a thing, and then there's also cave states, which if we get to see Kiki skip, we'll kind of explain that.
I think Chex counted his items because he skipped a chest. So he got both items in Mire, and now he's going to go to Hera. Either to unlock it, he might be unlocking Swamp and saving that Hera key, or more likely, he might be collecting the green pendant from Moldworm. Kind of a rare play that's not logically required, but he does have logical access to Vidi, so that green pendant is in logic. Oh, he's going to Swamp. Alright. Man. Oh, the Dongo. Okay, good. The green pendant grab would have been so cool. Because you can do that, and then you're in the Dark World. Although he wouldn't be, because he died. But get the key, Chex.
Did he come in with 3 keys?
No, he came in with 1 Mire key. He left one behind in the chest, and then I think there's probably one on Vidi as well. But it's okay, he has enough. He only needs 1. He just needs to remember to grab the one in this pot. There you go. Remember, the logic only expects you to spend 1 of those Mire keys in Swamp. So Dawn has corrected his dungeon ID now. Wait, no, he still hasn't. What's happening? Maybe he forgot. Oh, he's opening the door. And then he's going to correct it. So the way you correct your dungeon ID is by exiting and re-entering. And he's going to have to flood the dam, of course, to do that. If you didn't have the mirror, you could pre-flood the dam by saving and quitting out of this cave here after flooding it, and it actually doesn't reset until you do an overworld transition, and it persists through save and quit. So as long as you're able to save and quit to the old man, you can get to Hera and then climb Hera and then go to Swamp and get Swamp state without the mirror. Okay, the dam is flooded. He saved and Dawn saved and quit out of the dam. That makes sense. When he was YOLO checking it earlier. Which is kind of neat. It saves a mirror transition here, so you get some of that time back.
Although the one difference between Dawn and Chex in this situation is that, well, Chex is going to have to clear out, go and check all this stuff, while Dawn just head straight over to Argus.
Yeah. So Chex did some stuff in Mire that Dawn didn't do, and that's why Dawn is kind of quote-unquote ahead. Although I don't like to say anybody's ahead until go mode.
Nice diver down from Dawn.
Yep, and there's that small key of swamp. That can be anywhere in this dungeon. It got placed here randomly because the game expects you to come from Mire.
Yeah, and that's why we mentioned at the start of the broadcast that it's with hypermajor glitches. It's just overworld glitches with some extra underworld clips to it, and it's to start to take into effect here. These 4 clips that we enabled for this for hypermajor glitches has logical implications, and that was just the effect of that.
Yeah, there's kind of a little running joke in this community that, it's so easy, you just had to learn 4 clips, but the logic is really what's going to destroy you. If you haven't learned it, you can get very confused very easily. Because the logic has some funky implications. For example, because you need all 3 Mire keys to do Swamp if you don't have a small key up front, then that means that if there's a key on Vitreous, then Swamp is cane locked, which isn't something you would normally think about. But if you're in a race and you are looking for the cane, that can save you a ton of time. Nice ice rod kill from Dawn.
And a shovel.
Shovel. Well, he can check that now.
Yeah.
He's
it's
actually
it's just a mirror away.
He's actually still in the light world. He doesn't even need to mirror. He can just walk out. Because he never entered the dark world. He just clipped into Swamp from Hera.
Yeah, and that's why this actually particular state it's called actually a fake dark world. Points.
And now we see that weird dark world palette applied to the light world. The fake dark world will persist until you have transitioned, and then you will be in the real light world. That will also happen if you die in a dark world dungeon and haven't defeated Aga 1. That's a behavior that was patched out in No Glitches Randomizer, but it is vanilla. I wonder if there's anything in the big chest, because I don't think I saw any of them pick it up. Both of them chose to do left side swamp first.
It's funny because when we did the 5-year anniversary race, that had not been patched out at that time.
Yeah. Some people got a fun little surprise. I think actually the big key is in the big chest because I don't remember seeing Dawn pick it up in the back. And here's Dawn doing Lando. This is really cool routing because he hasn't done this yet, and he has the shovel to do on the way. Yeah, I would say confirm big key and big chest because I see all 4 items in the back and none of them are the big key. Unfortunately, HMG seeds can only be generated with Sahasrabot, but there is a if you search some of the discords, and I can post it in the tournament discord, there is a JSON file you can load into the customizer so you can change settings if you want. Otherwise, the only way you can roll it is the kind of standard settings that we're using for the tournament. You can also roll it by enabling underworld clips on top of overworld glitches. But the JSON will also enable quick swap and prize pack fixes, so I would recommend using that.
Dawn onto the Lambo fight.
Oh hell, that's a heck of a good a heck of a good Argus fight with the ice rod. 4 hits, 1 cycle.
So because we have Chex's audio, we'll actually get to see why it's called Fake Dark World to begin with, and not just because of the little slight change in the graphics. Because oh no, he's still in the Dark World. Never mind.
Chex had to mirror to get the dam because he actually came from Mire, not Hera, so he never entered the light world.
Right, I forgot about that.
They took different paths. Chex doesn't have the glove. He realizes that now. Easy to forget. When you've walked all over the world,
no big
and you're
deal.
used to having that. Glove means I have access to the world, but not in this mode. In this mode, really all we need it for is Ice Palace, because there's a block on the way to Cold Stare, and that's it. Everything else is just overworld checks that are locked by the glove.
Yeah, no big deal, because Chex could just clip through little part of where Yeah,
Oh,
the Dark World portal is at. And
are we
divides it.
finally seeing both players go to Ganon's tower?
This might be it. Yeah.
Check's hitting the switch for good measure. Ether tablet. Yeah. Don already checked that. He didn't have the Master Sword at the time, but he knows it's nothing, so he's not coming back for it. And this is, in fact, GT. He is going to clip to GT the same way he did to Hera, using a bit of a lineup here and his spin speed. Check says Spike Cave on the way because he has the cape and can do that. Don can too, but I think given that progressive items are go mode, it might pay off to skip this.
Right,
Oh,
yeah.
no glove.
And also no glove.
No, Chex is making a mistake that I make all the time and forgetting that you need a glove
Yeah.
for Spike Cave. Oh, it feels so bad when this happens. Oh, I've done this so many times. It's, you just, again, you take the glove for granted because you're used to having it. There's two of them. Well,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Although,
Don has taken a lead.
Actually,
not doing Spike Cave.
yeah. I will point out something with the GT clip though, but it happens not that often. It happens every once in a while, but it is entirely possible to get yourself to throw yourself at a spot where you're not supposed to be, based on if you have a bad subpixel.
The setup consistently, you should be fine. You just have to clip in all the way in one smooth movement, or just boost clip in and then release. I think if you get like bounced up or down, you can get yeeted. Chex is on low health again. Has chosen to use Ether, which actually Espeon recently timed to be not that much slower than just killing the Stalfos.
Shout out to Espeon, by the way. He is great at timing things.
He's also one of the admins of this tournament. Give him a shout out.
Yeah, I actually recently discovered too that there's actually a faster way of doing Samaria Diver Down. It saves a bit of time on it too.
You mean the one they do in the speedrun where you do like the right and the left buffers?
Where you drop your sword. You drop your
yeah.
sword.
You drop your
sword.
Yeah, that's what I do. I do the splash method, which is a little slower, but in Randomizer, you're getting the chest anyway, so it doesn't really hurt to go that way. And you don't have to charge your sword while doing that. Oh, there's a bow. Yeah, you can drop your sword. Almost simultaneous bows. Let's see a glove and have a really close race.
For the first qualifier, too. Yeah, Espeon recently discovered that you could fake powder diver down. What?
Fake powder diver down lets you move a little faster through. Oh, there's a glove. Go mode. And they found the big key. Jax took a little longer to realize he's in go mode, but look at this sink. Holy cow. What a race to kick off this tournament. What a treat.
Yeah, this commentator's blessing for sure. We have, for the first qualifier and the first actual match of the tournament, the first actual like race of the tournament, we get ourselves a race. Oh boy. And these two are really great glitch runners. They are the top of the line here. Dawnvenure was
Dawnvenure was the semifinalist in the Overworld Glitch Mentor Tournament and also a semifinalist in Open League. So has quite a bit of experience. Chex goes back several years of glitch experience, so he has a little bit more under his belt. Does a lot of speedrunning, especially glitch categories. Whereas Dawn's experience is a little bit more rando leaning and maybe a little bit more exotic rando modes than we see from Chex. But we'll see maybe a difference in execution here coming up the gauntlet. Where, maybe one runner is used to speedrunning the game and the other one is used to having weird equipment going up here from rando. Chex is just tearing through though. This is a hard one to keep up with. Especially with the Master Sword.
From apart here.
Dawn is taking some hits, but he does have that fairy in a bottle, so he's not really in danger.
Yeah, it's great to see, like, when it comes to the glitch community, like, you get the old guard, which is like some of the most experienced glitch runners in the game, and then you have the pride of the mentor of the overworld glitches mentor tournament. You get like some people like Dawnvenure, who has started with no experience with glitch modes and is now become a top runner. It is insane.
There's a lot of up and coming runners in this tournament, and a lot of people who are old guard but haven't played in a long time and are playing with a healthy coat of rust, which is interesting to see that rust come off as the tournament goes on, and these runners really become formidable opponents. Yeah, I'm not sure what Chex did in Land Mode 2. I wasn't looking at him at the time. He does have half magic though, so can use the fire rod liberally. Ooh, there you go. Dawn got the kind of bad luck on the bridge, dashing up. Got hit by one of the guards. It can happen through no fault of your own. Recovered pretty well though, didn't fall off. Chex is doing some silver arrow checks up here and tempered checks because that would be the best thing to find. We still have Pod and Ice Palace. Both of those we're going to get to see underworld clips for. One of them to get in and one of them to get through.
I got a little worried for Dawn there because Dawn accidentally shot the fire rod at the door and not the torch, and I was kind of worried that Dawn would jingle glitch and cause a despawn GT.
Unlikely. Most people will take precautions to avoid it. Jingle glitch happens when you walk up the stairs in the same frame the door closes, and you get sprite displacement that makes the rest of the tower unbeatable without having to reclimb it.
Yeah, it also affects the later bosses like Aga 2, because normally if you know how to hover, you would think you'd be able to kill Aga 2 when all the sprites are despawned, but nope, Aga 2 is also gone.
Yeah, it didn't happen. We're fighting Aga 2 right now, and Chex's side and Dawn just a little bit behind. No sword, no silvers up here, so you know, if they're lucky, they will find them in Pod or Ice Palace on the way. Pod is a dungeon where you do have to open chests just to get the big key. Ice Palace has a few things that are on the way that you can get, but it's looking unlikely that either of them is going to get this sword upgrade that they want.
So one thing we also didn't didn't see here was that we didn't see Kiki skip, which
we'll see it. So Chex did this is called Clipe. It's a little optimization you can do. You clip out that diagonal agonim ledge. You can't select buffer, so you have to sword buffer one frame. Saves a tiny bit of time on the bird pickup. Love to see a Clipe in our first race. That's a good meme.
I've never seen that, and I now want to practice that.
It's actually like
just for show.
People who run any % restricted major glitches will go for it because it's a short enough speedrun where that time save actually matters. But once you know it, it's free time save if you can pull it off, and it's not like you're doing anything else. Chex is choosing to go vanilla pod instead of Kiki skip. Oh no, he's doing what we call overworld Kiki skip, which is an overworld glitch that you can do to sort of mirror clip into pod instead of... Oh, Dawn found the glove. He knows he doesn't need it because he found the glove in Ganon's tower. It's interesting. Where is he going? He says, nah, actually, I do want that, because that'll get me to Ice Palace faster. Very good call. No Uncle Check. Uncle, it would be sword or silver arrows, otherwise he doesn't need it. He's going to walk to pod too. It's okay. There will be plenty of Kiki skip in future tournaments. And I think Check failed, so he might actually do Kiki skip now.
All right, so... now should be a good time to actually kind of talk about Cave State when we're about to wait. Never mind.
It's teasing us, man. Now he says, do Ice Palace first, maybe? Not sure.
I guess
this doesn't get you to Ice Palace.
No.
Where is he going? Because he doesn't have he doesn't have any bombs. He can't Kiki skip without bombs. I mean, you can, but it's hard.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Poor Chex. Oh, he ran past like 2 8 bombs in Gauntlet too. It feels bad. IP first might be better, but you have a bigger chance to find a sword in pod, so there's a chance that it could be optimal to do pod first. And it doesn't really matter because you're just going to save and quit out of both anyway. So Chex says, I'm here, I'm just going to do ice now. Dawn found the big key in the first chest. This is actually a case where Kiki Skip would have saved him time because he could have unlocked that door in the middle with the cave state key and not had to go through the bowlock side. But now he has to go through the bowlock side and get one of the keys that's guaranteed to be there and then get to Helmasaur that way instead. Chex is doing a mirror wrap. This is an out-of-logic way to get to Ice Palace. When you hit the mirror in the same frame you transition, you give yourself the opportunity to hit the transition from the wrong side and do a screen wrap into the middle of the next screen over, which is Ice Palace. And this is the bomb clip that gets you through the lobby. A little bit of a shortcut for him. It says... Dawn found the second thing in the front of pod, which is not a sword.
Yeah.
But, it could have been. So, probably not seeing a sword. Go ahead.
One thing I want to mention too is... One thing I do want to mention is that... if you do the Ice Palace, they're both ways, like either mirror or flipper wraps. It is entirely possible to soft lock or to hard lock if you're not careful.
Yeah, Chex did it from a save and quit though, so it was pretty safe. You got a nice fairy pickup from the magic powder on the bunny beam. He's doing silver arrow checks and sword checks in Ice Palace. But I don't think...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do that much more. Maybe freeze or chest at most. He does have the big key, which gives him one more check he can do. Let's see. He says no to freezors, but maybe yes to the big chest? Nope.
So if you're gonna do the flipper clip, just don't get a phantom diagonal. That happened to me. Straight up.
Glitch modes. If you're new to them, it's safe to do these slightly more risky clips from a save and quit, just in case something happens. It's also safer if something were to go wrong and you happen to notice it doesn't look right, to just save and quit and try again. If you have progress to lose. If you just saved and quit before, then hard lock is no different from a soft lock. Nice cold stare with the half magic and fire rod. Simultaneous boss fights from both runners. This is still extremely close. So Dawn has to do Ice Palace, Chex has to do pod. Dawn has the mitts and can just swim there. Chex has to Kiki skip in, but he can get the big key and get a shorter path to the boss, having unlocked the door in cave state. It's also very important that Chex remembers not to pick up the chest in cave state, because if he were, the key would get assigned to the cave and not to pod, and he wouldn't be able to progress.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, the game is programmed to give you, for caves only, it's said that it has 255 keys, which doesn't show up.
That's how, so 255 keys is what tells the game to display nothing on your HUD. So this is Kiki Skip, it's another bomb clip, kind of similar to the Ice Palace one. And he's still in the cave, and he walks right past the big key, which is wise. It's an easy thing for like no logic runners to forget, because usually you're playing on key sanity and can just open chests at will. But he knows he's not doing that. Oh, he didn't open the door. Oh, he's gonna lose a little time. He's not using his free key, but this is still faster than walking to pod the normal way.
Yeah. If you open the door, it just only assigns that to the door, to the cave itself, and it only decrements to 254 keys, not 255.
Yeah. Effectively, you have infinite keys as long as you don't pick up any in the dungeon. What you do is you open the one middle door, and then you walk out and recorrect your dungeon state so that you can actually be in pod when you're in here. And that one door makes the routing a lot smoother. You can just walk through it, even if you don't find a key in the first chest. And sometimes you can even skip the bowlock side, even when full clearing, because you can say, there's 2 keys there, I don't need them, because I spent an extra key in the front. Yeah, key doors only check that you have a non-zero number of keys. And 255 is not 0, so it'll open the door. Dawn is also doing checks in Ice Palace. He also might do more than Chex did, like Freezor Room is open to him. He can also do the big chest. He says no to Freezor Room as well. And no to big chest. So exactly the same route through pod that Chex took. Or through, well, both of them took the same route through pod and the same route through ice. And opened the same number of chests.
Either way, this is still a really close race.
Yeah, Dawn is a little ahead because he just has to do a cold stare, and Chex still has to walk to Helmasaur.
Although both still have to do Master Sword serverless.
True, and Chex has a green potion that Dawn doesn't have, which can make a difference.
Alright, all 7 crystals have been lit up for Dawnvenure. All it's left just to do is go ahead and kill Ganon.
Going for arrows, but he only has 5. I think he realizes that because he decided to get a spin-off. Alright, Dawn is picking up a quick refill before Ganon. Chex is finishing up Helmasaur. This is extremely close.
And, Michael K points out in the chat too, Chex is a little bit closer to Ganon because he is right next to Pod, so Dawn is actually making quick progress to it now.
Chex has a small problem with being next to Pod. The Pod front door is closed, so you can't just walk out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Dawn could have done that because he walked there. I think he did.
Yeah, because Chexhuman did do a Kiki skip, the door is shut. So
yeah, we call it Kiki skip because you don't pay the monkey to open the door for you. You just get in yourself because we're strong, independent glitch runners who don't need no monkey. All right, Dawn is setting up for the not quite double trident spin, but very slow, methodical Master Sword fight. As long as he doesn't take too many hits, he'll be okay. He does have a fairy. He can take enough to die. That'll just be a time loss. Chex has potentially a chance to catch up if he can execute Ganon, but both of them have a decent number of safeties. So it's going to be hard to catch up at this rate, with Dawn already having a good spawn from Ganon and the cape spins giving him a... not the cape spins. He's using the cape and spinning, but cape spins are a different thing in the Ganon fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's close enough.
Cape spin is something you do in Phase 4. And then, of course, another difference. I don't know what's in their bottles, but I know that Chex has a green potion that Dawn used, and Dawn has a fairy. So if there's a health problem, then Dawn is, in good shape. But if there's a magic problem, then Chex is in good shape.
Both are on red mail, so they don't need to worry about it. Don't worry about health too much. Silver arrows are in the dark world.
Yeah, some overworld location they didn't check. Could have been the Smith chain or the catfish. Neither of them did catfish.
I should point out that the mitts, finding the mitts in the major and glitch logic is not fun.
Can be.
It only opens up like a cute.
Dawn used the mitts that he found on Pyramid after Go mode to get into ice faster. So he got a little bit of a leg up on Chex, who had to do a mirror app. And had to, portal into the dark world. I hope Dawn has a potion. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, but you don't want to see it like somewhere like near the start, near before late game.
No, you're right. You don't want mitts as something you get before Go mode. Because it can... Okay, he has a green. That's good. And he took a fairy death. It's going to cost him some time. So we'll see if Chex can catch up using... you can see he's getting a few spins off while Dawn revives from the fairy death. It definitely is a time cost to do that. But not as much as dying. So very good that he got that fairy earlier.
So Chex did end up freezing Ganon there, but should still be kind of close. Blue
Ganon is a time loss too, not as much as a fairy death, and Dawn gets a blue Ganon too. I have lost count of the spins. I don't know who's ahead anymore.
I don't even know either. I don't usually keep track of those. It's like it's 52 spins. It's hard to keep track of those spins.
Oh gosh. They're so close.
They are really, really close, yeah.
I keep waiting for each hit to be the last one because I don't know who's ahead.
Same, yeah.
I'm trying to bookkeep the mistake. Oh my gosh, they killed Ganon at the same time. Dawn is going to go for the lightsaber. I hope that doesn't lose him the race against Chex. I don't think it costs time. Maybe it does because you have to do the fire rod after. Yeah. Oh! Dawn just memed himself into the room at the same time Chex did. This is so exciting for our first race. So the official race time GG times are 1:21:16 for Chexhuman and 1:21:17 for Dawnvenure, just 1 second apart on that .done button. Both of them being in third and fourth place behind Dam and Krithel, and the runners are coming in quite fast.
Yeah, the Chex and Dawn both finished in third and fourth respectively overall. Tam was the overall winner with a 1:09:56 and Krithel with a 1:20:02.
Couldn't have asked for a better race for the first tournament game. Chex and Dawn are waiting in the interview room, so we'll bring them in when they're ready. They can join anytime they want.
And here's both Chex and Dawnvenure. GG's to both of you.
GG's.
Jeez.
Yeah, wow. Thanks for putting on that race for us. That was so good.
Yeah. Quite an impressive show, especially that Ganon fight just a second apart from each other. That is insane.
Yeah, I was like bookkeeping blue Ganons and the fairy death and trying to figure out who was ahead based on that, and I just couldn't figure it out. I was just waiting for one of you to finish, and you both finished at the same time. It was amazing. And then you did that lightsaber thing, which I think lost you just enough time to be behind Chex.
That's all right.
But it was good. You gotta do it right to qualifier. You don't have to worry about your placement so much as your general seeding, and of course it's all just for seeding anyway, so nobody gets eliminated.
I feel I overperformed in some spots and then super underperformed in other spots. Like my Mimic 2 room I wasn't proud of, my Landmo 1 fight wasn't really good, my Trinex wasn't very good. So then, like, I got my the Herita swamp thing on my second try, which is a lot less than I normally do, and then some other glitches too. Also, like, just my not knowing HMG very much hybrid at all. I kind of lost a bunch of time running around in dungeons, forgetting that I have to do certain things in certain ways.
Yeah, like correcting your dungeon ID in Swamp. I kept thinking you were in Swamp State and looking over and seeing you weren't. I think overall, like, you know, this mode has a lot to keep in your head at once, so it's a lot to ask of somebody to just remember everything. And you did a really good job remembering you don't have gloves. Pretty much every time it mattered. Chex did Spike Cave without a glove.
Oops.
I've done
that
that.
in a while.
And I didn't notice, like, I thought, oh, Chex is doing Spike Cave. This makes sense. And I was told, like, I'm making the same mistake you are. I'm thinking you're going to Spike Cave. So, Chex, how did you feel about this?
I'd run around. I knew all I needed was one of two bows or one of two gloves for go mode, and I just went to the wrong dungeon and died in mire and felt like it could have gone a lot better depending on the placements of the other items.
Yeah,
including
definitely.
one found just before I fought Ganon.
Yeah, the glove. That was a bit of a tease. You know, you could pyramid fairy to that, but then you wouldn't get the bow. And the bow was probably just on Catfish or Smith.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know where it was, do we?
Oh, Ganon said it was in the Dark World. That's all we know.
Yeah, that would have been pretty amazing, because that it was. Oh, well, I guess we don't know if it was accessible or not.
Dark World can be Spike Cave, so maybe you had the right idea. Maybe
exactly.
You were sniffing out that bow in Spike Cave and just couldn't quite get to it yet.
Yeah, I ended up checking pedestal even though I had bow and glove left for go mode. I was like, I don't even need to check it. There's two of these items in the world. Then I like told myself, like, what if one's locked behind the other? I'm like, oh no.
I've seen so many glove go mode seeds that end up like that, where one of them is just in Spike Cave and there's nothing you can do about it. And then you're not really in glove go mode, you're in ice rod go mode essentially, because the glove doesn't unlock that much by itself. So yeah, any final thoughts on the seed before we move on to the rest of the day?
I don't know. It's a fun mode. I enjoyed it. Yeah. So, thanks for commentating this.
It was really generous seed early, but took a while to get the safeties for me to feel comfortable to complete dungeons. But it was a pretty fast way to end. Just kind of everything was just along the way.
Yeah, so if you'd like to see more of this, there isn't any more A Link to the Past on the schedule today. There is another tournament qualifier that will probably not get a restream today. You can still follow the runners and take a look at them and see who shows up to it. Keep an eye on that race room, racetime.gg. It's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can also go into the tournament schedule for the main tournament, which hasn't been scheduled yet, but we are in the final stages of it. And then we have, of course, the rest of the HMG tournament, and I'll put those links in chat.
Definitely check it. Go ahead.
This seed was really fun to route in Turtle Rock as one of the first dungeons. With going to Death Mountain with 3 hearts is a little scary, but once I'm up to 5 in red mail, it's fine. And Master Sword.
Oh yeah, I was impressed with Dawn's routing. Skipping Skullwoods on purpose, knowing that you could map wrap from DR was so much thinking ahead that my mind was blown.
Oh yeah, definitely. Did Dawn have the hammer?
Yeah, it was in Dig Game. He went south to north from a super jump, and you went north to south. You guys basically did
that rules.
Opposite directions of every single thing you did. Like You did Swamp from different dungeons. You did Dark World from different directions. Your Overworld in the beginning was completely from different directions as well. And your collection rates ended up being basically the same, 135 and 132. So, kind of goes to show how you can't predict how the seed's going to go until it's going.
Sure.
I really want to rewatch this now.
Definitely, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Especially with the photo finish.
Follow those runners and follow the COCOM Professor Renderer and our tracker, the Hidden Duke. These would not be possible without somebody telling us where the items are, because it's really hard to pay attention on my own. I rely on it pretty heavily. And then as well, we have our SpeedGaming staff and Restream crew putting this on for us as well. So give them a thanks. And with that, we'll be out.
Yeah, take it easy, everyone. Again, join the Glitch tournament Discord if you haven't done it already. If you want to learn all this stuff, and take it easy, everybody.